Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of
A BJJ Marriage, where we talk about our lives as a married Jiu Jitsu couple. Not wearing socks. It would be so cold.
Well, welcome everybody to episode number 58 of A BJJ Marriage, where we won't spell anybody's name wrong today.
Right. Sorry about you.
With your hosts, Nick and Brittany.
I'm Brittany. I feel like I have a lot of energy today. I had a lot of caffeine between yesterday and today and have not really gotten a lot of energy out.
No? How much training did you do this week?
Stop it. That's super mean to bring that up. Does my voice still sound a little cracky?
A little bit.
Yeah. I've been sick all week. It's been super annoying.
I haven't been sick.
Yeah. Lucky. I'm really honestly happy you haven't been sick, because that would have really sucked if it was the week before IBJJF.
Mm-hmm. At most, I had bad allergies.
Yeah.
A week and a half ago.
That's what I thought it was at first, when I just got my sore throat, and I was like, this is not allergies, this is like a lot. And It was to the point where I probably haven't been as sick as I was in a really long time, because I was like bedridden, couldn't keep my head up, couldn't stop coughing. It was just rough. So I was at home all week. I hung out. I watched Disney movies and ate popcorn.
Yeah, good for you.
It was great.
I, on the other hand, put in my last week of training before Pans, which is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Pans is this week in Florida.
Yeah.
Just south of Orlando in Kissimmee.
Yeah, so we leave in 2 days. So today is Sunday and we leave on Tuesday. And then we're gone for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do an episode next week, we might skip it depending on where we're at with time. But if we do an episode next week, it'll probably be from our hotel room in Florida.
Yeah, I plan on bringing the mic and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited. This is my first IBJJF competition.
Mm-hmm.
And my second competition at Purple Belt.
Right? Crazy. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic.
Yeah.
I put in a lot of training. And I wore my first gi in this episode to think about like how I started jiu-jitsu and how now I'm going to compete at one of the biggest tournaments that there are. And yeah, I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome. So you're kind of doing like a whole Josh Janice vibe going on right now, where you have to reflect on your black belt and explain everything, and
no, not so much.
Because that's what happens when you get your black belt, right? Like you don't get to tie on your own belt for a couple weeks, because you have to like think about all the things that you've done and the struggles that you've been through and all of that. And so he's putting on his first gi to like think about how much he's worked to get here.
Yeah, I think it's good at points to reflect on your journey, because that helps you, especially if you're in like a plateau. Mm-hmm. It helps you realize, I am way better than I used to be when I started. Or even I'm way better than a couple months ago.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that this morning when I was just sweeping around the house and in my thoughts. But I was just like, it's kind of crazy to think that people who are starting right now are going to actually be like really good in a year from now. And then imagine how much better they'll be 5 years from now. Because then I think about, I've only been doing this it hasn't even been 3 years yet. Mm-hmm. Like in May, it'll be 3 years for me. So it's just crazy to see like how much I've grown since then. And then same with you. You've only been doing it for like 4.5, almost 5 years. And like 5 years ago, you didn't know anything. Like you wouldn't be doing IBJJF.
Hell no.
So it's cool that like you've built up this confidence enough to be able to get there.
Yes. Yeah, and that's ultimately what it is, because I haven't accomplished anything yet.
Well, there's so much too. I wouldn't say that. I think you have. You've done great in local tournaments that you've done. And even in the ones that you have lost, you've still come out and learned from it and gotten better and bigger and better and stronger and all of those fun words. But
yes.
I wouldn't say that you've done nothing. Like you've proven,
that's true.
You've proven your point. People know who you are in Milwaukee. Like you walk around, you go to other gyms, like they recognize you, just as we recognize other people.
Right.
From local tournaments and things.
Yes. But I guess my real goal is to expand some recognition outside of our local bubble. Mm-hmm. with this tournament.
Why?
Well, I have plans of growth for the future. And, I think it's a healthy drive to want to ascend your level in any realm of your life.
Yeah. Well, if you always stay where you are, you're just never going to grow and you'll always be in your comfort zone. Right.
And if I wanted to just compete in local tournaments and be like one of the best dudes in Milwaukee, I could put my focus into that. But my plans for the future are bigger than like just Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Which Milwaukee is fine. It's got a great grappling scene and there's fantastic competitors and lots of good stuff happening in the area, which I don't want to, diminish or anything like that.
Right.
But if I wanted to make a real career out of jiu-jitsu, which is a goal of mine, I would have to perform well at events like this, which is coming up this week. So, I'm not trying to add pressure to the competition, but I do have plans where if I do well here, I can make some next steps. If I don't, I know what I need to work on to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. So how have you been preparing for the biggest competition of your life? What have you been doing differently for this one than you would be for, like, just your average Milwaukee tournament?
I'd skip lunch.
Okay. Well, that is a big thing, though, right? Like, that's
yes.
a lot. That's a big difference in your diet and lifestyle.
Yes.
Is you've been cutting weight for this one to be the smallest that you've ever been in your adult career, which is wild. I don't like him this tiny.
I've gotten lots of people commenting that they can see that I've lost weight.
You're only like 25 pounds heavier than me now. I don't like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder what my BMI would actually be, but I can see more definition in my body. And there was one point where I was 162.5 pounds.
You didn't tell me that.
Well, I said 163.
Oh.
I rounded up for you.
Okay.
I know that you've been like, boy, you need to get some weight.
You're not meant to be that little.
Yeah. So, I was 162 at one point, and then I started eating lunch again. And had some more healthy snacks because my goal is to weigh in exactly at 168 pounds with my gi. And that's my weight class, my weight division. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be 164 pounds with my gi. My gi weighs 3 pounds. So if I stay around 165 pounds and manage that perfectly, I'll weigh in exactly at 168 pounds. And I'll be right where I want to be at the top of my weight bracket. And, yeah.
Do they give you any, like, leverage at all?
I have no idea. I meant to ask Dave, I meant to ask Brent, and I still keep meaning to ask people.
So, like, if you're 168.1, is that bad?
Right, I have no idea.
Okay.
I feel like that would be ridiculous, but...
I mean, IBJJF is kind of ridiculous.
Right.
So I don't feel like that's too much of a long shot to think that that's a possibility. Because IBJJF, they're, like, on a whole different level with their rules.
I feel like at that point, though, you just run around and then come way back in 10 minutes.
I don't know if they let you do that. I think you're disqualified.
Yeah, I have no idea, actually.
Like, I think you would literally be disqualified if you don't make their brackets.
Based on what?
Just what I've heard.
So, assumptions?
Yeah. But it's what I've heard, is that you're DQ'd if you don't weigh in, if you don't make weight.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean if you don't have multiple chances.
Yeah, I guess. We'll see. We'll find out.
Right.
Because you compete on Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday, that's the 7th, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so even if you're not listening to this on Sunday, I think today is the 4th.
No.
Yeah, no, the 3rd. So today is the 3rd, so even if you're not listening to it today on April 3rd, just know Nick and Dave are both competing on Thursday, April 7th in
Most likely.
Kissimmee.
Yeah, that's what the schedule looks like so far.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to change it.
Because it starts on the 5th, and when it starts, there might be some bracket rearrangements and injuries and things like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, so this Pans is one of the biggest. It is the biggest Pans that they've ever held. Over 4,600 people signed up for this tournament, which is insane. Mm-hmm. And it's called one of the Grand Slam events. And this is what you need to, I think, compete at Worlds, unless you're Masters.
Really?
I think so, something like that. It's either Euros, Pans, Brazilian Nationals, or It may be just be Worlds. I'm not sure. But I know those 4 are the Grand Slam events in IBJJF, which are highest prestigious events. It's not just a open event. Okay. Even though you can just sign up for it, so I don't know what makes it so different.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just the name, I think.
I was gonna say, yeah, recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that the refs wear suits. Like, they just look so fancy out there.
Yeah. That's another career path. People that just go be IBJJF referees. Because you got to go through training. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah. With how intense the rule set is, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited. It should be a fun time. I mean, we went to Worlds Masters in November last year to Vegas, which was 5 months ago already. Like, how crazy. Time is flying.
Yep.
But, yeah, we went to that 5 months ago, and we were able to do a podcast in our hotel room from Vegas.
Yep.
So that was with Dave and Brent. I don't know what episode that was. Go back 5 months ago. So if you're interested in hearing more about how IBJJF actually goes, you can go check that one out. But we were there, and we had 4 of our competitors from Fluid competing. We had Dave, Brent, Jason Bergman, who was on last week's episode, and Jose. Mm-hmm. And actually, all 4 of those have been guests, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I have a couple of guests lined up again.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's awesome. But what was I going to say? So, yeah, we were in Vegas for that one, so this one's going to be in a different state, but now we're going to make a vacation out of it, too. So I'm really excited because we're going to go to Universal after competition. And we're totally going to go get, like, some sort of fried food as well.
Oh, man. I cannot wait for fried chicken. And a hamburger. And donuts.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been on a very, very, very strict diet for about a month now. Yeah,
because I've been losing weight for about a month or so. And I have a blog I wrote about it, which is coming out on the Gentle Art Lifestyle website sometime this week.
That's exciting.
That's my first blog, so I'll post a link to that too. But yeah, and it talks about the difference between. It talks about just a smarter way to lose weight for competition, because when you just lose water weight or you fast and you sit in the sauna for hours and drain yourself, you're literally draining the energy that you normally would be able to put into competition. Mm-hmm. And if you're not used to it, if you don't do it in a smart, healthy way, you are not going to be able to perform at full capacity. Mm-hmm. I've heard many times from competitors that I've competed with, like on our team, that have said, man, I would have done better if my weight cut wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I heard that so many times where I'm like, I'm never going to fucking cut weight. I'm only going to lose weight.
But you kind of went through that too when we did the whole keto diet.
I think there was a combo there, because I also wasn't cutting weight. That was a different way of trying to lose weight, mm-hmm. and it didn't work properly. Yeah. Because we had no carbs, and my body didn't know how to make energy out of what I had.
Yeah, which we can get into, but
yeah.
Diet is just huge, and so I honestly really do think that anyone who ever complains about gaining weight or not being able to lose weight or things like that, like, you really should just take a step back and consider what you're putting into your body, because what you put in is what's going to define what you can put out, you know? So, like, if you don't put enough energy into your body, how do you expect to give enough energy?
Right. Like, if you've ever had, like, a cheeseburger for lunch or, like, a shit ton of Buffalo Wild Wings. This is a story I had once where Brent and I were doing whatever, and then we went to Buffalo Wild Wings for lunch, and I had a shit ton of wings, and it was, like, delicious. I loved it. And then, like, 2 hours later, I went to Muay Thai for 2 hours, and I went to Jiu Jitsu for 2 hours, and I felt like shit the whole night. And I was like, yeah, I really should not have eaten that before training. Versus if you have, like, a smoothie bowl, and then you go train for lunch, you feel fantastic.
Right.
And you feel just, like, clean energy coming through your body.
Even just, like, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, I had made chilaquiles for dinner, and I took it over for leftovers for work. And I eat lunch around, like, 2 o'clock, and then I go train from, like, 6 to 9, basically. So having a later lunch, like, keeps me fuller longer until I'm ready to eat dinner after training. And I had chilaquiles around 2, and I went to an open mat I think it was at 6 that day. So I had been training a little bit harder than normal and earlier than normal. And I could feel it. Like, I was not rolling up to par. I was not doing what I wanted to do because I had such bad heartburn. And I was like, well, this isn't fun. Like, I can literally feel the chilaquiles from 4 hours ago in my body. And that just, like, it was kind of a click in my brain where I was like, I really need to eat better on days that I'm training. And it's not that I eat bad. It was just like chilaquiles is kind of like our cheat meal of the week. And unfortunately, I had it for dinner the night before and for leftovers for lunch. So it just, I don't think I'll do that again.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you can't control when you eat shitty food.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just happens.
Right.
And you just train through it anyways.
Right.
But I took that lesson also into my brain and my subconscious habits where, like, okay, I'm not going to eat shitty gearing up for this competition so that my body is clean and ready to perform at its highest level, ultimately. Mm-hmm. And I've been on weight for over a week, and I've been training with it, and I did some hard rolls. I'm done doing my hard rolls. But my body is used to now this level of intake and energy output that I need for this competition.
Yeah. At
this weight level. Because I am down about 10, 15 pounds from where I normally weigh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you normally walk around 175 and you're walking around like 165 right now. Mm-hmm. But you vary between 175 and 180 typically when you're not watching your weight.
Yeah, like on the weekends, after we get, shakes and maybe have a drink and have fantastic dinners, I'll weigh 180 pounds.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday comes around, I'm like, I'm 174 again after Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu.
I hate you. It does not happen to me.
But yeah, so ultimately I've been sitting at a caloric deficit. I've been skipping lunch, having very small breakfasts, and having very healthy dinners for an extended period of time, so my body gets used to it, sheds the pounds that I need to shed, which was easier than I thought it was going to be. And then I got underweight, so then I ramped up my eating again, and now I'm just above where I should be, which is a good thing.
And you're feeling good?
I'm feeling great, yes.
Feeling ready, not like you have a deficit of calories or anything?
Right, yeah, I don't feel like weak at all. I don't feel like drained.
Did you?
No.
You didn't have any struggles or troubles or anything when you started originally?
Nope, I think the only struggle I had was when we did the 3-day fast.
That was rough. That was super rough.
When we tried to do the 3-day fast.
Did we even talk about that? I think we've had guests, though. We just haven't really went into it.
Maybe.
But basically, don't do a 3-day fast without prepping for it. We tried to do a 3-day fast just like cold turkey, cutting off everything. And it
immediately after vacation.
Yeah.
Full of alcohol and buffets.
It didn't go very well, so I would just suggest not to do that.
But if you're interested, I'm going to do a 3-day fast attempt again in June. I think June 6th, a Monday. If you want to do that, hit me up. It'll be a good time. I know there's a couple people that have told me they would do it with me already. So
yeah, we have like 2 or 3 people willing to try it out.
I can make a group. We can all talk about it. It'll be
keep each other accountable. Yep.
Yes. If you're interested in that, let me know.
Yeah. Should be
maybe I'll do something on our website about that.
Yeah. What website? We have a website?
What?
What?
Did you make it?
No, I did not actually.
I am super excited about the website we made.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
So I came up with this idea. Okay, this kind of actually relates back to the 3-day fast. So we did a fast back in March, in the beginning of March, and I don't think we've talked about it on this podcast. If we have, sorry. But we did it, and we wanted to just try it out. He had been talking about it for a few weeks, that he wanted to do a 3-day fast. And we were like, okay, well, let's go to the Dominican Republic now. So we just never got to like prep for it the way that we probably needed to. Yeah,
and I didn't really tell her that my plan was to do a fast beginning of March. But she kind of maybe knew, but I hadn't like committed to it. But we needed to use her vacation days in the beginning of March, so we did. It was fine.
We did. We actually had to. Won't get into why, but so we basically we were on a 4-night, 5-day vacation in the Dominican Republic at an all-inclusive resort. So we were just, having a bunch of drinks and a lot of food and hanging out in the sun.
Sitting on the beach with margaritas.
Yeah, but also like in the sun a lot.
And champagne for breakfast. And champagne for lunch.
Yeah.
And champagne for dinner.
It was a spur-of-the-moment vacation, okay? Like, we literally booked it, I think, 4 days before we left.
Yeah.
So we did that, and we're like, well, we're going to fast when we come back. So we came back, and we started it, like, almost immediately. Like, I think right when we got back, he had, like, lunch, and that was it. And then we were done for the rest of the time.
Yeah, we came back on a Sunday. I had a small lunch and a small dinner.
Mm-hmm. Which I didn't even eat dinner, because I wasn't feeling great after being home. I don't know if it was the weather change, but I didn't want to eat dinner, and I was like, well, I might as well start my fast now. All boozed up on margaritas still.
Yeah,
and it didn't go well for us. I was super, super nauseous the whole time. I wasn't feeling good. I was not ready for it, and he was feeling good for the entire time. I felt
fine the whole time.
But basically, him and Dave were just like, no, like, you're done. You're going to eat now. And I was like, but I'm super close to being done with the 3 days. Like, I made it to hour 55.
Yeah, but she was miserable and nauseous, and I was like, there's no point for you to just be miserable and nauseous. I'm gonna make you food now and you're gonna eat it.
But I wanted to say I could do it.
Yeah, but
I couldn't do it.
But that's why we'll try again.
Yeah. But
in a better way.
Anyway, so he made me soup. And so, like, basically kind of going in the middle of all that is we started this fast, and I was like, well, you probably can't just, like, break a fast by eating whatever you want. Like, I don't think you can go right into your ways. So I did a whole lot of research in those 2 days of, like, how to break the fast and how to maintain your fast without feeling miserable, which didn't work for me very well. But I did a lot of research, and I ended up following this couple, and their names are Ryan and Alex. We can actually post a link to their site on this. But I was looking into them, and they are basically like a life coach couple who help people and other couples reach their goals. And I was like, wow, that sounds very similar. I really like that. So I read a lot of their stuff, and they have their own website, and they have their own blog, and they send out a newsletter every Friday that I get in my email. And I just thought that, like, they seem like people that I could very much relate to. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. But they kind of talked me through their blogs of how to break the fast. But I never researched of how to start the fast, which is where we went wrong. So we're going to do it better this time. But anyway.
We're not going to eat a shit ton of food and drink a whole bunch of alcohol this time.
Yes. So they said to break the fast by however long your fast is. So if you're doing a 3-day, then you should take that divided by 2, so a day and a half to break it. So we had to spend a day and a half after we finished ours, and we had to break it with, like, very neutral foods until we were able to build back up our immune system to take in what we're used to. So the thing that we had to break it with was bone broth, because it had, like, the salt in it, and it was still the liquid that we were used to from coffee, water, and tea. So it wasn't putting too much salad into your body, and it finally gave your, like, stomach a chance to boost itself up. So Nick decided to tell me, okay, you're done. You're going to eat. I'm going to go make you this bone broth now, because he had went to the store and bought it for me.
Yep. Without her knowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started making it, and then she was in the shower. It was boiling. And during that time when she took the shower, I suddenly became, like, rapidly nauseous and went and purged, like, 2 pounds of water out of myself. And not in a good way. And I was like, okay, this is terrible. I need to eat also.
Yeah.
And I ended up losing 12 pounds in 48 hours.
Yeah.
I went from 181 to 169. And then 2 days later, I was back to 174.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the fast, you kind of just lose all the water weight, which is why you have to prepare on how to break it properly.
But I was drinking a shit ton of water, too.
Yeah. Well, that's what you threw it all up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy what I threw up. Mm-hmm. There was, like, no scent, nothing. It was just, like, water.
Yeah. It was weird. But, like, it was funny because I came out of the shower, and he was literally laying in the bed in a fetal position. And I was like, what are you doing? Are you okay? And he's like, I'm so nauseous. And I was just like, okay, I think we're both going to eat that bone broth now. Like, I don't think it's just going to be me tonight. I think we're both going to break it. So next time in June, when we do this fast again, we will do it properly, and we will get ready for it so that we can actually build up that ketosis metabolism rather than just, like, dying the whole time. Because I think we were slowly killing ourselves.
No, we wouldn't have died.
Eventually.
Well.
But yeah, so we tried that. We lived, we learned, we failed, and we're going to try again.
Yeah, we're going to try again. And if you want to join us, let us know.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of going off of all of that, the reason we started talking about that was because I found this couple, this Alex and Ryan couple, and I had gotten their newsletter. It was a Friday in my inbox, and I had texted Nick, and I was like, we should start a website. Like, I think this is a really good idea. No, you said we should start a newsletter. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was like, we should start a newsletter. Like, this is a really good idea. We do a weekly podcast. We could do a newsletter where maybe we're recapping the podcast of last week, and maybe we add in a recipe. We can talk about exciting events coming up. And I was just coming up with all these ideas that I was like, it'd be good to, like, have another outreach to people who are interested and maybe don't want to sit and listen to our voices for an hour. Like, I honestly don't blame you because I don't like listening to podcasts because they take too much time. Sure. And there are things that I actually genuinely am interested in, but I don't know how to just sit and listen for an hour. I don't even watch movies.
Yeah.
So like, if you listen to us, we definitely appreciate your support. But, like, if you don't, I totally get it. Like, I'm not offended by it. So that's why I was thinking maybe a newsletter would be another good outreach to people.
Yeah. And then me and my entrepreneurial brain know how newsletters work. I've done some marketing courses here and there. And, running a business for 10 years, I learned a bit about marketing and how that works outside of the research and development I've done. Anyways, I felt like there's enough reasons and enough things we've got going on where we should have a real website instead of just a website that has a bunch of links to a whole bunch of random shit. Mm-hmm. So I made a project for myself to create us a website, and I built it from scratch. Obviously, I used like a template and plugins and stuff, but I built it.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of it.
It looks really good. So I didn't help. So this was all Nick. So anything that you have to say about it, you talk to him, because I don't even know how to, like, get onto the editing part of it at all. But it's called the BJJMarriage.com. I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And it is basically the colors that we like to use on our branding. So it's green and blue and
yellow,
pretty and fun, and it's all
neon.
That. But it
stands out.
Yeah, we have a bunch of different, like, links and pages to it. So we're gonna add a recipe page. We're gonna add a newsletter page. We're gonna add a couple other things, and then it has somewhere for events. It has the logos for Fluid, for BJJ Marriage, for My Odyssey, for Gentle Lifestyle. It's got all of our roots in it, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's a more coherent picture of what we do for our podcast, and for us as a BJJ Marriage, the brand.
Yeah, because I would genuinely say that we do this podcast on a weekly basis, and for those of you who know us, you know that. Even if you don't listen to them, like, you know that we do this. This is now part of our lifestyle. And it's been really fun, and we've been growing it.
I really enjoy it.
Better. Yeah, but it's really become a part of who we are and what we do. And not only so much so just the podcast part of it and talking, but, like, BJJ as a lifestyle, like, we've really taken it into our entire lives, and it kind of wraps around everything that we do. So, like, even though I still work in finance and I'm working towards other parts of my career right now, like, jiu-jitsu is still going to be there. And if I were to ever leave my job and go do something else, like, it's not like jiu-jitsu is just going to go away. I'm still going to incorporate it. And it actually has to be pretty negotiable in any offer letters that I sign in the future is that, like, well, I have to make it to 7 p.m. classes. So if you're going to require me to work overtime, like, I better be out by 6. Like, that's just, it's my life. And I know I'm just a blue belt, and I know that people who may not know me may just, like, look at me and be like, okay, well, you're just a blue belt. Like, things could change. And, like, I get that. But we have it
I ain't ever going to let it happen.
I just feel like we have it so different just because when my dad owns the gym, we're part of, like, running the gym. We teach, we help out with the operations of it all. We are the soundboard for ideas. We're constantly running events. We're hosting this podcast. We're shouting out for people all the time. We're constantly going to other open mats. Like, we are very
I make all the flyers for the gym.
Yeah, but we're very part of the jiu-jitsu community, and more so the fluid jiu-jitsu community. Like, we are, it's our life. And so even outside of jobs and hobbies and other things that we do in our life, like, jiu-jitsu is always what's probably going to be the main focus for both of us.
Yes.
Which is just kind of crazy.
Yeah, like, I do life coaching, but I also am trying to branch into online jiu-jitsu coaching on top of that.
Yeah.
And I do lots of private lessons, and I'm training my ass off, trying to go to Pans. trying to see what I can do in the competition scene.
Yeah. Well, so at my job, I work in a financial planning office, and we were going through a merger. So when we were going through that merger, obviously the new people who are buying us out, they wanted to get to know me and like what my role was and things that I would be doing. And they also wanted to know more about my personal life. And so when they found out that I train and that my husband is like kind of embodied jiu-jitsu as part of his career and his lifestyle and what he's doing so much, and like the plan is definitely to have our own gym in the future. And I remember specifically my new boss, he had asked me, he was like, well, is that just his goal? Like, sure. he had asked me, he was like, basically you could see the wheels turning in his head, like, well, are you going to leave me? Like, are you going to leave the company to go run a gym? Because if you are, like, maybe we should talk about that now instead of 5 years from now and things like that. And I was just like, I think that's more of his gig. Like, I think that's more his style. Like, I'll definitely help out and run the operations and teach a couple classes and things, but it won't be my business. It'll be Nick's business. And so it was just interesting to, like, have someone talk about that out loud when it wasn't really a thought in my brain, where I was like,
mm-hmm. But somebody else could pick up on it.
Yeah, and I was like, it's kind of crazy that jiu-jitsu is so embodied in my life that, like, now my new boss is even wondering, am I going to quit and leave him for it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the website is a good portal to get people to be able to sign up for the newsletter and to be able to look at other coherent things that we are in the middle of.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's really annoying when you have, like, a separate page for signing up for newsletters, a separate page for recipes in the future, or a separate page for every little thing that we're doing. And it's just good to have it all in one spot.
There's a shop with our coffee mugs on it.
Yeah, you can get the coffee mug.
But yeah, one of the bigger things about it too, because I got that newsletter in my inbox, I was just like, well, this would be so cool. Like, I think, because we've been talking about how I've been wanting to start a cookbook for years now. And I actually am kind of in the process of it. But it's very slow moving because I have a lot of other things going on right now. So I'm constantly adding to it, constantly thinking of new ideas. I have literally recipes saved all over in nooks and crannies throughout my house and internet.
There's literally like above the cupboards, there's cookbooks. She's got some on her phone. She's got some hiding in our office, I think.
Yeah, there's some on Alexa. There's some on Pinterest. There's some on Facebook. There's some in just like my pictures. There's some in my email. Like, I just have recipes kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
So I would love it to be able to create my own cookbook with all of these meals that I have created and made, and just put it all together so that I'm not like looking in all these different places for it all the time.
Yep. And the recipe page of the site is going to be like a online cookbook for everybody to access.
Yeah.
Not just her, but everybody.
Yeah. And people love it when I cook for them. Like, I literally have people asking me to come over and cook for them almost on a daily basis at this point. Like, it's kind of crazy. But we have also talked about that.
That's why I put a ring on it. One of the reasons.
But that's what, I mean, we've talked about it, though. Like, I love cooking so much that I wouldn't ever want to make it a career. Like, it's something that is purely hobby to me.
Right. But you don't want to go be a personal chef or a private chef or work at a restaurant.
Right. Like, I'm not about that life. I just want to do it because I love it and I enjoy it, and it brings out the creative side in me. Because what I do when I cook, and I think what makes me so unique versus like any other person, is that I go find a recipe of a meal that I want to make, but then I'll also go find 4 more recipes on that same exact meal, and then I'll kind of put them all together to make it my own. And that's
what I do when I look up jiu-jitsu techniques.
But that's why I think my meals are so much more unique and special than like what you could just find in a cookbook, because I put together all of these different things and make it my own, rather than, oh, I stole Rachel Ray's recipe, or I stole Betty, whatever her face is.
Oh, I stole Gordon Ryan's butterfly sweep.
But no, I enjoy cooking quite a bit, so we figured the website was a good place to put that out.
Absolutely.
And then you guys can all stop asking me, what's the recipe for that? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you.
Yeah, then we can just send you a link.
Yep.
Like a straight up link, because her recipes are different than the recipes that you find online. And yeah, I think it's a fun project. Also, I love editing websites. That's one thing I always did at Stonefire. Back when I was in high school, if you guys remember MySpace, For years, one of my hobbies was to edit my MySpace, and not just mine, other people's MySpaces. I would make those special MySpaces that made them look like their own website, where they were called div layouts, and I was the one that making them. And I loved it, and I learned how to use Photoshop, and I learned HTML, and nowadays it's even easier than it was back then. Because back then I had to like map out pixels and actually organize things, but now website creation is basically like drag and drop if you understand what the hell you're doing. And I really enjoyed the process of making the website. And ultimately, this whole podcast in general, I've learned how to edit audio, learned how to edit video, learned how to make a whole bunch of different stuff online, learned how to make a shop, learned how to make products, learned how to really develop a whole website. We're in the process of the newsletter, getting that going. So many different things that I've learned just by doing this, and I've loved the process, no matter what the outcome of this podcast has been or will be in the future. I've loved everything I've learned and been able to do and appreciate from the people that I do follow and what they do.
Yeah, lots of new skills.
Yeah. Oh, graphic design. Yep, making things.
Yeah, but that's where, like, I've always been very adamant on not wanting to be salesy about anything. Like, of course, we would love if you would promote us a little bit, but at the same time, like, we're not doing this really to make a profit. We're not trying to get your money from you. We're not trying to do any of that. Like, we really just love jiu-jitsu, and we're just trying to share our knowledge and our experiences and our love for the sport onto whoever it can make a difference to.
Yeah, and any support that we do get from you guys helps just to make the quality and the content of our jiu-jitsu better. Or not jiu-jitsu, but the podcast.
Yeah.
Like this guy. Maybe we can get a real stand one day.
No, that's our roots.
We're going to get it. Never mind.
El Paso Chili Company to sponsor us, like we've been talking about for 58 episodes.
Well, if Andrew Whiskey can get Panda Express to sponsor him.
I know, that was crazy. I just saw that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
For sure. But yeah, so I hope that we don't ever come off.
Mikey Musumechi has a pasta company that sponsors him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Anyways.
See, like, how cool would it be? Like, I'm already thinking, like, way off into the future that I finish a cookbook for us, and it just says, like, a BJJ Marriage on the top. And then there's, like, 2 black belts on it instead of a blue and a purple.
Hell yeah.
Like, how cool would
that
be?
If you want to get these vintage cups, these belts are going away soon.
I wouldn't say soon.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, lots of exciting things. What are some other fun activities coming up? So we got IBJJF in this week.
Yes.
I was going to say next month, but it's not anymore.
No, it's not next
April.
month. It's this week. Nate's Maness UFC or MMA seminar at Sweeps. Are we committed to going to that?
I don't know yet.
I know. But that's coming up April 16th.
Yeah.
At Sweeps in Watoma.
It's about 2 hours north of Milwaukee.
Which I saw that they were posting, I think they've got a new space that they're cleaning up and remodeling, which I'm super excited for them.
Yeah, we're going to go check that out.
Yes.
So that's some really exciting stuff, but that's going to be a seminar with a UFC fighter, learn some MMA and some Nogi.
He's undefeated in the UFC right now.
That's super cool.
In his last fight, his jaw was broken and he came back to win.
Yeah.
Like he got punched in the jaw. Oh shit. But then he was like, fuck that, I'm going to win this fight anyways. And he did.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and he fights
awesome.
at 135 pounds. I would like to go.
Yes.
We'll see.
We have to see what our budget is like after Florida.
Yes. And then there's another event.
So
the Roll-A-Thon.
Roll-A-Thon.
Yeah, the 12-hour Roll-A-Thon.
April 30th. If you're from the Milwaukee area, and honestly, even if you're not, this is an event worth coming out for. So we're doing April 30th, and it's going to be held at our gym, Fluid Jiu-Jitsu, and it's called Roll-A-Thon. It's all for charity, so you can pay $50 for 2 hours, or you can pay $100 for the whole day. And what it is it's 12 hours of jiu-jitsu nonstop. So it's going to be an hour of seminars, an hour of open mat, an hour of seminar, hour of open mat for 12 hours straight. And during that seminar period for that 1 hour, there's going to be 2 different black belts on the opposite side of the mats teaching their own seminar. So it's going to be like one black belt is on the left side talking about side control, and the other black belt is on the other side teaching a seminar on takedowns. Like, it'll be something completely different, very specialized to our local black belts here in Milwaukee. We got a big majority of the black belts here in Milwaukee to do it. And
12 black belts.
12 black belts to do it. So that's really freaking cool. And then after the seminar for an hour, then there's just open mat. And we're going to have tacos for lunch. I think we're going to have donuts or something for breakfast. We're going to have tacos for lunch.
Talk about eating clean before training.
Right. And then we're also going to have a wine tasting at the end as well.
Oh, yeah.
And
Is
also,
that happening?
Yes, apparently. Whatever. But then throughout all of that, there's also going to be a silent auction going on too.
Yes.
And the silent auction, we have some really cool items already up for bid. And it's going to be a really cool event, and it's all for charity. So, like, why would you not do it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why you would not do it.
It's only $100 for 12 hours of jiu-jitsu, and yeah. I guarantee you I'm going to be there for all 12 hours. Sorry, you're going to have to take the dogs out. But I'm being there.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I can't do 12 hours of jiu-jitsu. I'll lose my mind. Megan Wagner and I will go take a nap.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah, so we have that coming on April 30th. So please, please, please try to attend that, because I think that that'll be a super cool event. And like I said, it's all for charity. We're not collecting any of the proceeds. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that one's April 30th. I don't know if I really missed anything on that at all.
No, I think that's about it. Or also, Gabe is doing massages for charity, too.
Yeah. So we have a masseuse that's going to be there, $20 for like a 10 or 20 minute massage.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic massage therapist.
Yes.
He specializes in like helping UFC fighters, jiu-jitsu practitioners stay healthy.
Sports therapy.
Yep, stay ready for competition and fights.
Yeah, like so when we were in the Dominican Republic, we got a massage, just like a couple's massage, just because we were on vacation. We're like, let's just do it. And I was very disappointed with the pressures that I received from it. I mean, it was relaxing, it was fine, it was whatever. But like, I did text Gabe, and I was just like, yours are so much better. And he's like, you cheated on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I was in a different country. You weren't in that country.
Gabe was on an episode. It was a good one.
Yeah.
But,
so he's going to be there doing massages. I'm probably missing something. I'm sure there's like 1 or 2 other things happening that day. But it's going to be a great event.
Yeah.
And then in
June.
What is June? Oh, I'll let you talk.
New Gentle Art Lifestyle Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up in June in West Dallas. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was announced publicly yet or not. But that's okay. If you listen to this, you get the inside scoop. It's going to be at Primal MKE.
Yeah.
The weekend 4th and 5th of June.
Yes.
And it's going to be fucking awesome.
I've had quite a few people from Fluid tell me, they're like, I really need to get to one of those camps. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Because seriously, every time that I'm working on some random stuff on random people, I always tell them at the end, I'm like, I learned that at a camp. And they're like,
yes.
Josh's camp? And I'm like, yeah, maybe if you came, you would know what I was doing to you. But you don't, so I'm going to keep doing it to you.
Dude. Yeah, I've been using, from the last camp, from every camp, I use a side control tip that I learned from Felipe Barbosa, but I also use it in side control, I use it in mount, I use it in the back, I use it in the knee on belly. It was an amazing grip that I'm using all the time now. It was a mix between what I learned from him and Jeff Glover, so that was a seminar, not a camp. But
I really like Felipe Barbosa's key flip held thing.
Yep.
I do that quite often.
So I use that. I use a Tariqa Plata.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, that sucks. You should go to the camp.
Yep, a Tariqa Plata from Kyle at Jeff Curran's gym.
Open Guard, which they just opened a new location. So congratulations to Open Guard. Yes. That's fantastic.
That's super
Johnson
cool for them.
Creek. Can't wait to go check it out sometime.
What else did I learn from camps I use all the time? There's S-mount that I just learned from Tim Gillette.
I was going to say that.
Have you seen me doing it to people?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, I've been making people miserable
in S-mount. Doing it, though.
And, sorry guys, but yeah. And
that's stuff.
Yes. Oh, choke theory from Charles Harriet.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes you don't get that perfect choke on people, right? But, like, you know that if you get a choke and it's like dangerous, that if you can hold it for an extended period of time, that they're going to tap. So there's a lot of times where I'll get like a decent choke in, and I know it's decent, but I know it's not a finishing choke. But then I'm like, I'm going to just sit here. And then people like try to move and they can't. And then after 10 seconds, they're like, excuse me.
They burp.
After 10 seconds, they're like, okay, tap.
Yeah, that was a good one. I know you also use stick and panda quite a bit too.
Oh my God. I used stick on Brett. I rolled Brett with the stick.
Oh my
and
God.
I meant to text Josh about it. But I did it.
That's awesome.
That's like a gold medal right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is Gentle Art is coming up in June. If you want to feel even half as much excitement as we do, then you should sign up for that as well.
Yeah, and outside of jiu-jitsu, there's lifestyle events. There'll be food. There's going to be free beer, I believe. A cold tub. And Primal's a fun place to train. Not going to lie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that.
Primal's very nice. They just had their 2 head instructors at ADCC this weekend.
They did. Which was also a crazy event in the jiu-jitsu world. Which I have aspirations to get there in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy.
There's 256-man brackets in ADCC West Coast Trials this year. Can you imagine signing up for a competition in your weight division and like looking at who else signed up, and you're just like online like, oh, I wonder who else is in my division. Maybe I might know someone. And you're like, oh shit, there's 256 people in this bracket.
Let me just keep scrolling until I notice the name.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yes, and this isn't even the full ADCC event. This is the trials to get to ADCC.
That's really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why ADCC is considered the Olympics of no-gi submission grappling.
Wow.
And that's why Gordon Ryan got a $100,000 sponsorship from Crypto.com.
That's crazy.
Because he's won the last couple. And yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
ADCC. So I'm part of a women's group on Facebook, and they're more of a competition women's group. And they were just talking about it, and they were like, ADCC Trials are this weekend, and IBJJF Pans is next week. Like, how many of you are going? And I was just like, It's kind of wild to see, like, how much it's blown up.
Yes.
Like, there's been a lot of change. And, like, even just the fact that I could say just right now, like, I'm in a women's competition group, like, that's kind of crazy.
That's super cool.
Like, that wasn't a thing 10 years ago. And, like...
Well, Facebook barely existed 10 years ago.
True.
But jiu-jitsu in general.
Yeah, like Open Guard just opening up their second location in Johnson Creek. Everyone in like the Milwaukee area expanding and promoting and getting better and everything. Like it's wild to see how much it's changed in the last even 10 years, but let alone 20 years. Like it's blown up. Mm-hmm. You're starting to see it everywhere.
And can you imagine Elio right now looking at jiu-jitsu? Like imagine if there was a tree that started in the heart of Brazil, where Elio used to train, and imagine if like it was just a map that was growing, and now that tree touches every corner of the world because of jiu-jitsu. Like jiu-jitsu technique started there, and it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane. I love it.
Like, it's hard to wrap your head around how much it's changed. But, like, if you are just starting out, I'm sure that your instructor is not. And I'm sure your instructor has talked about the way that it used to be when they were starting and when they were white belts and who they were training under and how it was almost impossible. Like, I know
and how they used to get fish hooked and eye gouged.
Right. Okay. Like, Ellie and I were just talking about it because she is a purple belt, and she's a damn good purple belt, too. And she was rolling with one of her best friends who just got her brown belt, actually. And they had taken a picture of their purple belts, like, kind of all tangled together. And she was like, we used to be unicorns. Like, purple belt women used to be unicorns. And now you can probably find that in almost every gym. Which is crazy and awesome. That's awesome. And I love it. And, like, the fact that I'm in a women's competition group.
Yes.
But I remember even Joanna, like, I was a white belt, but, like, Joanna was a purple belt. And she was one of the very few at this point. A few women purple belt in Milwaukee. And now she's a brown belt, like, coming on her black belt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, black belt women I still think is a very rare commodity, but it won't be in the future. Right. Give it 10 more years, and it's
definitely smaller, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say out of every 20 black belt males, there's probably 1 black belt female right now.
Something like that.
And honestly, that ratio probably won't really change that much. There's plenty of days at the gym that I'm the only female in there. And we have a lot of females at Fluid, but, like, sometimes I'm just the only one there.
Yeah.
So it really, like, I don't think that ratio is going to change much, but I do think that we will see a more expansion of women black belts.
Yes.
Female black belts.
Yeah, as the sport grows, women are coming into it more than they used to.
Yeah. I think it's really cool.
Because of people like you. And this podcast.
I try. I really do. Honestly, if you're a girl, and if you're a guy and you have a girl in your life, please get them there. Because I think it's super cool.
Or get them in touch with Brittany.
Yeah, I can do it. I promise. I've gotten a lot of girls at Fluid.
Yes.
But, yeah, so lots of exciting stuff coming up. We just love Jiu Jitsu. We like sharing it with you. So I'm really glad that we're able to do this and that we were able to build our website and share things through Roll-A-Thons and Gentle Art Lifestyle camps and seminars. And it's going to be a fantastic life.
Yes, life is exciting.
Jiu-Jitsu encompassing it all.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really excited to get out to Florida and show the work that I've been putting in and one of the highest competition scenes.
Yeah, it should be fun. And honestly, by the time you listen to next week's podcast, the results should probably already be all over and you should know what happened. But let's just, for now, wish Nick a really good luck with it. Good skill. Good luck.
Skill to
whatever.
me.
Honestly, you'll do great. Like, even, like we said, even if it's not the outcome that you're expecting, whether you win or lose, like, you'll still learn from it and you'll still figure out what you want to get out of it, which I think will be a fantastic life lesson in itself. Mm-hmm. So this will be super fun. And we get to go to Florida. Like, Florida's always super cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe because we have the car, if we have an extra free day or something, we should go see Charles and Natasha. Because they're only like 2 hours. So, lots of stuff.
Yeah, that's a possibility for sure.
Yeah, they might not be in town. They might be in, like, Israel.
Israel?
They just travel all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll have some good news for you next week. You have anything else to add?
I was going to talk about Dave's competition course. We had a good time supporting Dave and going to his competition course seminar workshop at Fluid this week.
Yes. He put together a really good outline of how he wanted to format the seminar. It was a 2-hour talk.
It was.
About how to get ready for competition all the way from before you even sign up to the day of. Like, it was very well put together. Yep.
He talked about what to do for weight, because I think that's the number one thing that people are confused about when they sign up for competition. It's like, what weight should I compete at? And he talked about that a bit, and how to get ready mentally, how to get ready physically, the right kind of diet for you, a whole bunch of stuff. But it was a great talk, and I had a good time.
Yeah, he had a lot of great information to share, and I could tell that there's a couple of people there who had never competed before, but definitely are thinking about it or are already signed up, and they had some really good questions that he was able to spitfire out, which was super cool, because a lot of the common questions that beginners have are common questions that almost everyone has. So it was a good little workshop to put together, and I think he did a fantastic job. I learned that magnesium is good for you when you're trying to take baths, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's what's in Epsom salt.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which I'm probably going to have an Epsom salt bath next week, or in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had a lot of good talks about the diet that you need leading up to it, and the mental preparation that you should be telling yourself, and the physical training that you should be exerting, and who you should be rolling with, and what you should be working on, and what to look out for. And
yes.
It was really good.
Yeah, all things that fall in line with the competition course that I also offer on the Gentle Art Lifestyle website, which is also linked on our website, which is cool to say. Yeah, but if you're really looking for any sort of accountability to get yourself ready for competition, I'm your guy. That's for sure.
Yeah. I just told Ashley, too, yesterday. I was just like, we can tailor everything that Dave said today into exactly what you need. Like, everything he gave you is exactly what you need to do. Now let's tailor it more for you.
Right. Yeah, because everybody's different and everybody's body works differently. And part of the accountability course is defining your body and understanding your goals, and then developing a strong strategy for getting there, and then ultimately holding you accountable to that strategy. Because that's basically how life works. You set a goal that makes sense. You set a strategy that makes sense. Because a strategy for you might be different than a strategy for me, based on how our lives are. And then just doing the damn thing. Right. That's the real struggle that people find.
I would agree. It's fun right now too, because my friend Karen is doing her first competition in May, and I've been turning it up on her quite a bit in our rolls, where I'm trying to make her miserable so that she can get used to it a little bit more. But I know how she rolls, and I know what she does in her rolls, so I started doing them back to her. Yeah. And she was just like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "I pulled at you." But I wanted her to see I can read you and I can know what your game is. Your opponent won't, so don't worry about that. But I also want you to feel how you are so that you can figure out what you need to work on. Yeah. So I thought that was fun, and I wish I could have trained with her this week. Yeah. Because now I have to take all this week off in Florida too, so I won't be able to roll for a while. Yeah.
But we're bringing gis. We might figure some sort of training out.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Obviously not before competition. But maybe afterwards. We'll go find some spot or...
Yeah. Well, competition is day 3 of 7 that we're there. So we'll have the 4 days afterwards to try to fit something in.
Yeah. And if there's an opportunity for me to do open class, I'm jumping into it. I don't care. I don't even know how that shit works, honestly. But I'm mentally prepared where if I have the opportunity, my decision is yes. I don't care. I'm here to fight. I'm ready to go. I'm fired up. I'm prepared. Yes. Ready to execute. Yes.
Should I just do it too?
Yeah.
Should I just go sign up right now?
It's too late. They only allow 4,600, not 4,601.
Oh, okay. Dang.
No,
wonder
but
how I would do.
I think that you would have a good time.
Yeah.
There's 20 people in my division.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many fights that is.
Not 264.
Not 256. Yeah.
20 is still a lot, though. Because, you think about it here, and you only get, 2.
Right. There was one person in my division at Grappling Industries. Yeah. Crazy. And he wasn't even my division. They had to merge 2 divisions.
Yep. Crazy. But, anyway. Well, I hope you guys liked listening to us just vlog today. It was fun to talk.
Yes. Yeah, so check out IBJJMarriage.com for all things about us. Yeah. Sign up for newsletter to get more updates. Yeah. And
come to the Roll-A-Thon. Cheer Nick on this weekend.
Yeah, and get out there and train more Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah. Nick, Dave, and Brent, my dad, are all doing Pans this weekend. So
yes.
I am very excited to watch them all go do their thing.
It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. And we will talk to you, if not next week, in 2 weeks.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.